My friends, we are live, and hold on 2 seconds. I knew I was forgetting something there. My friends, welcome to our live broadcast today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the methods that moved me the most on guitar. These methods that I'm about to show you, right? There's so many different methods, so many different things that we can learn on the guitar. These are the things that 42 years later, 42 years later, I've been playing guitar for 42 years. These are the ones that I feel like if I could just give them to you, which I am, if I can just give them to you, you are going to see the most massive gains, okay? That's what we all like because we don't want to have to, we want to do the quan, right? We want to do Pareto's rule. We want to do the right 20% to gain 80% of the good stuff as opposed to the other way around, doing the 80%, 4 times as much, and only getting 1/5 of the yield, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you a lot of great stuff here. Hold on 2 seconds. Hold on. I apologize for that. I needed to get my microphone adjusted there. Okay, so we are also giving away this beautiful PRS NF53 guitar. If you haven't seen this, this is the John Mayer Silver Sky NF53, I apologize, PRS guitar, SE. You've probably seen me playing this last couple of weeks here. Remarkable guitar with some amazing tone. And I've played it plenty online, so I'm not going to do it right now. But you've seen me using this in a funk setting, a blues setting, rock, just all, right? Even did a synth part on it for Separate Ways. Journey Separate Ways. So this thing is a remarkable guitar, has great tone, and we're going to have a blast today. So this is what we're going to do. For 1 hour, I'm going to go over these techniques with you in detail, and then at the end of that hour, giving you the broad stroke here, I'm going to give this beautiful guitar away, okay? Yes, that's what I'm doing. And after that, I'll be taking your questions in real time. So we'll be taking some questions during as well, but I find it to be a little bit confusing. There's 113 of us in here right now, so obviously if I'm trying to teach something and I'm trying to answer all the questions, I'm going to get sidetracked as well. So I want to go over some basic concepts with you, and then we'll open it up to some questions and what have you, okay? We're going to have a blast today. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined, for those that registered. If you haven't registered, you're missing out on a few things. Obviously, an opportunity to win this beautiful guitar. We love to do giveaways, so we do them often. And then the other thing is I have a fairly lengthy PDF here for you. In fact, I'm looking at it. I'm going to say it's like 30, I don't know, 30-ish pages, 31. Yeah. So quite a few pages here. And basically it's going to give you a broad stroke of many of these things that we're talking about, right? So what are those things, Eric? Well, let me tell you I could rattle them off, honestly, without even looking at this thing. But understanding the cage system, and I don't mean just understand the cage system like, oh yeah, I understand, so there's 5 chords and they move all around. Yeah, there's so much more to it than that, right? You can do this with minor chords, minor 7th chords, you can do it with 7th chords, minor, all. And there's so many different ways to use it. So the cage system, we're going to drill down with that. I want to drill down with the Nashville Number System with you. And what I mean by the Nashville Number System is not so much writing it, because that's really what the Nashville Number System is a way of writing and charting songs using numbers. But The number system, as in, this is the way that we think of music. Once you understand this, and anybody who understands, first off, if you understand the cage system, and if that's changed your life, write caged in the comments, because sometimes I say these things and people are like, oh, he just wants to sell courses. Well, that's kind of what I do for a living, is I teach people how to play. So I don't know what you do, but like if you work at Walmart, you want to help people, right? That's your job, is to help people, show them where things are at. Or if you're a cashier, that's what you do. You help them at the cashier. In my case here, I've been doing this for 42 years, teaching people how to play guitar. So that's what I do. Do I want to sell courses? Of course I do, because it's going to help you to play guitar. That's what I do. And at the same time, I want to help you. This is why I do these live broadcasts. I want to help people get over the finish line and understand the stuff. So right there, you're seeing all those folks where cage has absolutely changed their lives. This is a real deal. We're going to talk about this. The Nashville Number System, I'm going to do the same thing. If the Nashville Number System, or the understanding of music according to numbers, has changed your life, put NNS, standing for Nashville Number System. Put NNS in the comment section, because what that's going to let folks know is these things that I'm going to be presenting to you today are no joke. They're the real deal, and they're the things that really move the needle the most. Understanding how to use your capo, not only to change keys, but which is called transposition, but also to change your fingering, because you can take any song that's difficult and use a capo. A lot of novices, a lot of beginners will poo-poo the capo because they just don't know, okay? You'll never hear a pro poo-poo the capo. It's always beginners, which is kind of funny, right? And so it's a guy that, if you really knew what you were doing, you wouldn't use a capo. Always a beginner that says that, never a professional. Because professionals are in the studio using capos all the time. And they'll say, and then other players will say, well, I'm a rock player and I've never used a capo. I know you haven't, because you're playing in open keys all the time. Let's talk about B flat for a minute. Let's see how well you play in that key. Well, I can't do that. I know, you need a capo. So for the same reason we don't drive a nail into a piece of wood with our fist, we could, I suppose, if you did it hard enough and enough times, but you'd get all bloody, right? You use a tool. That's what a capo is for. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about that today. We're going to talk about bar chords and how they absolutely liberate you across the neck. Tightly associated with the capo in what bar chords do, also the cage system, which is just a way of understanding and memorizing. If bar chords have changed your life, put that in the comments if you would. Bar chords, because they're absolutely game-changing. We're going to talk about that today. If the capo has changed your life, write that in there too, okay? Because we're going to be talking about all these things. I'm also going to be showing you finger-picking techniques today, because to me, again, these are things that can make you sound so much, it can elevate your intelligence on the guitar, okay? As soon as you start playing fingerstyle, it's a different game, okay? And you don't have to. For years I didn't. Well, I take that back. I've always played fingerstyle. In fact, that was one of the first things I ever did. But plenty of players who never play fingerstyle. But it's an area of guitar that you can master quickly, and it's amazing and so fun to do. Strumming, we're going to talk about basic strumming today, how to understand strumming, how to get over the hurdles of all that. If strumming has changed, if fingerstyle has changed your life, put that in the description. I want other people who are just watching this to understand these things, right? There's 137 of us in here now, and there's some that are new. So I want to make sure that these folks really understand that the stuff I'm presenting to you today is going to be the good stuff, the best stuff. All right, so put in fingerstyle if that has moved you. Another thing we're going to be looking at today is strumming. Obviously, that's not necessarily going to change your life because you just want to be able to strum. But if you've gone through my strumming methods, and if that's changed the way that you strum and the way you approach strumming, please put strumming in the description there, or in the comments. Chord noodling. We're going to be talking about this today, right? So you've seen me do like the kids, these sorts of things where I'm playing a song, a bass line and a melody line at the same time. We do this with chord noodling, meaning there are chords being played, but then we're noodling around notes that are within a key, okay? If chord noodling has changed your life, put that in there. We're going to talk about minimalistic blues. This is a lot to talk about. Dear Lord, am I going to be able to do all this? If I shut up, I will. Minimalistic blues, this is an idea. I'll have to show it to you, but essentially it's, you know, one place on the neck. If you know there's 4 frets, you can bring it anywhere. You can bring it all over the neck, and once you understand the basic 4 notes there, or the basic 4 frets, which allows you to get to 6 notes, the 6 notes of the blues scale, then you literally just do that. You learn that, and then that works all over the neck instead of having to learn all these different forms, which I've done all that. They didn't really help me out that much. I use them, but nothing like minimalistic blues. That's what I call minimalistic blues. You're not going to find that anywhere else, because that's a terminology that I came up with, but there's a real idea to it, okay? If minimalistic blues has changed your life, you can drop that in the chat there as well. Okay, without further ado, here we go. All right, so I'm going to whip through some of this stuff, but I want you to understand, I'm going to do broad stroke because we could spend hours on every single one of these subjects. We could be here 24 hours from now. I'd be talking about the same things because you can go so deep with them, okay? So the first thing I'm going to be talking about with you guys today is to get over the idea that a capo is a crutch. Again, if you think a capo is a crutch, you're a beginner, because I've never in my life heard any professional guitar player say that a capo is a crutch. It's ridiculous. It'd be like a carpenter saying a hammer is a crutch. Use your hand. Be a man. It's ridiculous. So a capo allows you to bar the strings so that you can play chords differently. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, if I have a song in the key of G or in the key of A, but I wanted to use this G fingering, then the only thing I would need to do is put the capo at the 2nd fret. Now what looks like a G chord is an A chord, and all my other chords fall into suit. So I could play as if I'm in the feel of G major, but I'm capoed at the 2nd fret. And I can do this obviously all the way up the neck. So I could, if the only key I played in was the key of G, which is G, C, D, E minor, A minor, those easy chords, I literally could play any and every song by just putting my capo on. Now I'm in the key of G sharp, now I'm in the key of A, now I'm in the key of A sharp, and so on and so forth. If I just move this up, it moves everything up a half step every single time I'm moving this up. I play the same chord forms. Yes, the chords are different because I've got the capo on now. This is why you see me when I'm teaching songs and I'll say G, C, and D, capo 4th fret, because it would be very confusing to say B, E, and A, right? It's just going to, B, E, and F sharp. It would be confusing to people to say that because it doesn't look like an F sharp, although technically it is. So if we were talking to a keyboard player and we were in a band, you know, we obviously aren't going to say, well, capo 4, and you'd have to know what that note is. But I teach that, right? So what does the capo do? It allows us to do a lot of things, like make things easier. Like I said, if I have a song that's in the key of A flat, I'm not playing it in the key of A flat. Neither is any other guitar player for the most part. Yeah, you can play bar chords. That's another thing I'd show you. But the idea is we want to make music. We're not weightlifting here. This is not an ego-driven thing we're doing, although the ego can get involved when people say things like the capo is a crutch or look at the bar chord that I can play. No one really cares. It's not going to sound any different to them in their ears. And music is an oral sport, okay? It's all about the ears, so no one really cares how you execute things. They don't care how you play the chord, just play the dang chord, right? So the capo allows us to do that, allows us to make things easier. The 2 easiest keys on the guitar are the key of G major and C major. If you can play in those 2 keys, honestly, if you just play in one of those keys and use your capo, you could play any song in any key very easily too. Because G major is the easiest key, C major is the next easiest key, and then I'd say probably like E major, A major, D major, those open chords. There's more open chords in those instead of bar chords. So if you have issues with bar chords, your capo is your friend, right? Now, closely related to this idea of capos is bar chords, because essentially anything, let's talk about a concept here for a minute. If I play this chord, an A minor chord, and if I want to play it up a half step, right? Half step is when we move up a fret. This is an A minor. If I wanted to go up a half fret, I can't just move my hand up like this because I still have notes that are open. And that doesn't sound very good, my friends. So A minor can't just go up like this because I'm leaving the open A still open, whether I'm fretting or not, and the E is open, whether I'm fretting or not. So those notes clash now. So I'd have to bring those two notes up, and this is why we have a bar chord, right? So I would bar in the place of the nut. Now this is a concept that's going to take a little getting used to. So I'm not going to go into the depths of where we could go with bar chords right now. I'm just showing you, for those that are new to bar chords, or you don't know what they're about, or you are having issues with them. Everybody has issues with bar chords at first until you learn how to assemble it one note at a time, and I'll show you that practice here in just one second. But essentially, once we understand bar chords, then we can take the same shape and just move it up the fretboard, and now we have 12 chords represented by one shape. And we name the shape according to what it is in the open position. So in this case here, it's an A minor shape, and we're just moving that up. And so every place that I play this is a minor chord, and that note right there determines what the key is. So here, that's an E, so it would be an E minor chord. And that's why it sounds nice with this chord, you know, or this one, or this one, or this one. Sorry, that's not true. This one right here. Okay, so we're able to play many chords, or I should say the same chord, many different ways on the fretboard using a bar. And a bar means we take our hand and we do this bit like this on the fretboard, and we're using that, instead of playing on our fingertips, we're barring like this, okay? That's what a bar chord is. And the only other thing I'm going to show you about that right now is because we got a lot of ground to cover here, and I want to make sure I get to your questions, okay? So the thing about bar chords is everybody, every single person, if you have, I take that back, anybody with a head has a problem with this, okay? So if you have a head, then you've had a problem with bar chords, and that's good. That means you're alive, okay? Here's the deal. In order to be able to play bar chords, I'm going to show you this little technique here, and this is how you have to think about it. A lot of people, okay, first off, if you can play the F major bar chord, and I mentioned this in the PDF, if you haven't downloaded the PDF, in the description of the video, go get it, because you're going to need it later, okay? Now, I say in that, I'm pretty sure I say it in that particular PDF, that if you can play the F chord, if you had the physical capability of playing the F chord, F major, looks like this. That chord right there. You say, well, Eric, I can't. I'm not a bar chords person. Well, you're not yet, and neither was anybody in the chat. None of us were bar chord people until we became one. And you do that by just like you learned how to walk, just like you learned to do everything that you do today that babies know how to do, okay? Or that I should say that adults know how to do. Anything that you do today, you learned how to do. And you couldn't do. You couldn't walk, you couldn't run, you couldn't crawl, you couldn't roll over on your stomach. You're doing those things like a champ now. You're driving cars, you're talking on the phone. Look at you. You're amazing, right? So that's because you practiced. That's it. You leaned into it. And if you don't lean into something, you're never going to get it. And if you say, I'm not a bar chords person, then yeah, you're never going to get it. But if you lean into it, you'll get it. And I'm going to show you the techniques here. So bar chords, there's this thing where you really have to press down like this, and what happens is the finger tends to arc a little bit like this, and because of that, we have uneven pressure right here in the center where we really need it. We've all experienced this. So what do? We hyperextend the finger, meaning you get it to kind of go backwards like this, where the pressure is more right here, and I do that by putting a little bit more weight on on the tip of my finger, and then that kind of bends that part of the finger in. That being said, when I teach people how to play the F chord, I do not say, go play all 6 notes at a time. That's what we want to end up doing, right? But if I was teaching you how to juggle 7 balls, I'm not going to say, throw them all up in the air and let's see how to do this. Come on. Ah, you fool, you ain't getting it, are you? No, we would start with 1 ball, right? A baby can't throw a ball back and forth between its hands, right? So that's something that you learn. And eventually you can do that. And eventually then you can get 2 going, and then eventually 3 going, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with a bar chord is you first have to learn the mechanics of, well, what's happening, right? And I teach you this in this PDF and in videos that I have here on YouTube. But then we need to learn how to play more than 1 note at a time, like 2 notes. So what I do is I say, okay, well, practice those first 2 notes out of the F chord, and then the next 2 notes. And then the next 2 notes, and then the next 2 notes, and the next 2 notes. Well, Eric, that's easy, but that's not a bar chord. Easy, my friend, we're getting there. Okay, we're getting there. All right, so 2 notes at a time. And you're like, okay, I got that. Okay, now you want to do 3 notes at a time. Cool, cool, cool. Right? And then you're like, okay, well, I got that. Okay, 4 notes at a time. Then 5 notes. Somewhere in there, you're going to get tripped up. And that's where you want to stop, back it off a level, practice the previous level, and then start leaning into the next levels. If you take it with this approach, you will feel the momentum, you will see progress. And that progress, just like if you go to the gym and you don't see progress, you're not going to be likely to go back to the gym. But if you see massive progress when you go to the gym or you go on a diet or something like that, you're going to keep doing it because you've got that motivation. This is how I teach people how to play the F major bar chord. And if you can play the F major bar chord, as you'll see from this PDF, you'll be able to play at least 72 new chords. And it's pretty miraculous, okay? Now, jumping into it, going to jump into the cage system. Let's talk about this for a moment because the cage system is directly related to this. The cage system is a way of taking 5 basic chord shapes. The chords of C, A, G, E, and D. Let's spell out the word caged. Okay, we're taking those. There's only 5 open major chords. And what I mean by open is you just play them and you have only a few fingers to lay down. You're not barring anything, okay? So if you take those 5 basic shapes, C, A, G, E, and D, they spell the word caged. What's really cool about the cage system is that it allows you to play major chords, also minor chords, minor sevenths, and dominant sevenths, and other chords as well, but works best with the major chords. Major and dominant 7th chords, it works best with. And so what it allows you to do is play all over the neck. So for instance, if I'm playing in a band and my buddy's playing this and the keyboard's playing this, then maybe I'll choose to play this or this or this or this or this. And we can keep on playing the same chord all the way up the neck. In that case, I just did 7 different versions of the chord. 2 of them were the same, 1 octave up, but nonetheless, you got the same chord being played. And so there's another thing I see from beginners sometimes is they'll say, and I don't mind it, but just they get haughty with it sometimes, and they're like, that's not a C chord. C chord looks like this. And it's like, a C chord sounds like this. It's not what it looks like. It's what it sounds like. A C chord sounds like a C, E, and G being together. And this is a C, E, G. And this is a C, E, G. And this is a C, E, G. They're just different forms of the same chord. So it's like chili. You can't say all chili tastes the same. Your grandma's chili tastes different than my grandma's chili. Or your mom's chili, right? Your mom's chili. So it's all different, right? But it's all the same. It's a basic idea of chili, or in this case here, of a C chord. C chord, the ingredients are C, E, and G, C major, and so any place you can play a C, E, G, you get a C chord. Make sense? And that's basically what we're doing, but the cage system says, here are those 5 shapes. You don't have to do all that math. Here, this is super easy. So I can play in the key of C, play a C chord here, C chord here. This is the C chord that looks like a C chord. So it's a C chord, because it sounds like it, C, E, G, and then it looks like a C chord. This is a C chord with an A shape, because it looks like an A chord just slid up. This is a C chord with a G shape, because it looks like a G major chord, but this is a C note, so that is still a C chord. Here is a C chord with an E shape. Looks like an E, right? That's what, so far we have C, A, G, E, and D. That's a C. We're going to play that like it's what looks like a D chord, D shape, but we're moving it right there. Now I'm going to, in that PDF, I'm going to show you some like little pivot marks so you can easily remember where these guys are. Okay? But there you go. You get the idea. You're playing that same chord all the way through. And you can do this with any. You can do this with D. You can do this with E, G. It doesn't matter. All the 12 keys you can do this with. You can also do it with 7th chords, minor 7th chords, and minor chords, as I show you in a whole nother course that I have that's called Caged Complete. Okay, 151 of us here. Thank you so much for those who have joined us. If you haven't already, get the PDF. You'll see the link in the description of the video, also in the comment section. Entering the giveaway gives you an opportunity to win this, which we'll be doing at the hour mark, and then I'll be taking your questions. Okay, so in about 34 minutes, this is going to one of you who signed up. If you didn't sign up, then you need to, right? Sign your mom up too. Okay, there's another mom joke for you, Matthew. All right, it's not a joke. All right, so that's the cage system. What can you do with it? A gazillion things. I mean, I use it all the time to play different guitar parts. If I'm in the studio and I want to play 3 different guitar parts, I think in the cage system, I think, well, I'm not going to play that same chord. I'm there. Those voices are there already. I need to do something higher up or lower, or just in a different configuration or whatever. And then I go to the cage system and I'm doing this, right? So use it in the studio all the time. Use it for composing all the time. Use it for, I think if you've been on my Instagram channel, you might have seen I did this, was it? Right? From Separate Ways, right? By Journey. I did this with the cage system, and it gives you an understanding of the fretboard in a way that if you don't know it, I just don't know how people get around the fretboard without it. I did before I knew the cage system, but then I kind of learned the cage system by myself just over time, you know, when the internet started really happening. Well, like 2005, I think 2005, 2006, when YouTube came around, I started seeing videos on the cage system. I'm like, what is this? I'm a guitar teacher, I should know the cage system. And then I realized I knew the cage system, but I didn't know it by the same name. But it's very helpful to know it by the name and to understand that the 5 chords are C, A, G, E, and D. I just knew how to play all those forms all over the fretboard and knew how that the bass note worked, right? Super valuable. Understand the cage system, okay? Okay, let's keep going. I want to make sure that we get to your questions. We talked about bar chords. The number system. Let's talk about this for a second here. This is all hand in hand, by the way, if you haven't noticed. How can we play a chord, a song that has a G, a C, a D, E minor, and A minor in it, and then if we want to move that up the fretboard, how does it work so perfectly? Doesn't matter where we go, the configuration works with that capo. Why does that work? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Because everything moves in a relative way on the guitar. What I mean by that is this. If we play the first 3 notes of a major scale, it goes like this. Notice that I'm skipping frets. That's the first three notes of a G major scale. The first three notes of a G sharp major scale are this. Well, we just skipped those notes again, okay? Well, let's do it with the key of A. Same thing, okay, A sharp. Same thing, B. What I'm doing is I'm doing the same pattern of skipping, right? Skipping a fret every single time. Played, skipped, played, skipped, played, right? Those are the first three notes of the major scale. That's why we can play a major scale like this. And I don't have to be thinking sharps and flats. Dear God, imagine if I had to think sharps and flats. I have friends that can do that. Like ex-girlfriend played in the symphony, and she would know all these notes, you know. My son would know it even though he didn't play an instrument. He's got perfect pitch, but if I play a note, the guy can do it. All right, people are all approaching music from different ways, so it's like it is what it is. Such is life. Everybody approaches it from a different place. Is one more right than another? Nope. It's art, right? There's no right or wrong in art. So, but the point here is that I didn't have to change my shape when I played the scales. So I didn't have to think sharps and flats like you do on the piano. When I was in college and I learned to play the piano, I say learned how to play the piano. I took 2 years of class and I still don't play piano. But I know all the keys, I can play all the chords and all the scales and all the keys, but I don't really play the piano. But I understand it structurally. So, but in order to do that, you had to know that the major scale is whole step, half step, whole, half. If you don't know what that means, it's fine. I got all this stuff free for you on my website. But understand that basic concept that every single major scale is that. Whole step, half, whole, half. Half step being the distance between one fret and the next, and a whole step being 2 steps. But that's the pattern, whole, half, whole, half. And so if I play this scale the same way every single time, I can just think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. It's the same every single time. Now you say, well, Eric, how does that help me? It helps you huge because once you know the tonal center, why do you have to think sharps and flats? You don't. You just need to know where the notes are. And this saves a tremendous amount of math and brain work and memorization and being frustrated with the guitar if you just think about it like numbers, okay? Some of the best musicians in the world live in Nashville. I lived there for 35 years. I've met them, I've played with them, I've been in the studio with them. They're amazing because they think mainly by the number system. Also very good ear players. It's not to say they don't read music, but it's just a different spirit of approaching music. And so what I've found is that if you understand the number system, which is just basically assigning a note to each note, assigning a number to each note or a number to each chord, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Same thing with the chords. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7, and back to major 1. And if you understand that structure with chord families is the same every single time, major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7, then you'll understand that if you took 1,000 songs, take randomly 1,000 songs, your favorite song, and you analyzed them, they would match up with these chords 99% of the time. Now you might say to yourself, well, Eric, why not 100% of the time? Because it's art, and there are no rules in art. There's structure, okay? And the ear likes structure. So everything, your eyes like structure too. Your eyes like symmetry, okay? Why? I don't know. That's for a whole nother subject. But it likes symmetry. It doesn't like disarray or entropy, right? It likes things to be in order. Makes sense. And so when we're talking about music, if you analyze those thousands of songs, you'd find that 99% of the chords fall into line with this, with maybe 1% of them not. And that's out of creative license, meaning someone said, I don't want that chord to sound that, I want it to be this. And so you can do that, absolutely, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time. So to understand the basic structure of these chords first, then later on you can get into what's called borrowed chords, which is when we borrow them from other keys that are similar And then this way, they work in that symmetry way, but it's not the chord that was there before, okay? So understanding the chords according to the number system. Now, man, these are broad strokes I'm giving you guys, because in order for me to introduce you to these ideas, it's more to wet your whistle, to go, hey, go watch the videos that I have on this. On every single one of these subjects that I'm giving you today, I have I have videos for you for free. I have courses for you for free, okay? Thank you, Dan, light bulb moment just went on for Dan. If any light bulb moments have gone on for you, you can put that little light bulb emoji or write the word light bulb. Thank you for letting me know that, Dan. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the light bulb to go on for you, because I could take any one of these subjects and spend multiple hours on it, and it would be that, and that would be great. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to excite you about the guitar so that you understand that many of the things that you want to do, well, there's nothing that's not within your reach. That's just a belief system. But and as a teacher, I just mentioned this, I just had a class just now with a private class with some folks. But like, to be a guitar teacher and to understand that the person who says they can't do it doesn't know what they're talking about, like in a kind way. I mean, like, you can do it, but to be the teacher and always be like, you absolutely can, you just don't know that you can, because I've seen it happen 1,000 times, and this is your first time coming here, right? So just understand that like, I'm really wanting to wet your whistle so that you understand, because I have tons of free content for you guys to keep going with any of this stuff, okay? All right, the number system, so important. It changed my life, y'all. I understood the basic concept that things are similar, right, on the guitar. When I'm playing a scale or whatever, I didn't have to, if I learned the pentatonic scale one time in one key, I could do it all over the neck. I understood that concept. But to really embrace, and just to understand that is one thing, that's helpful. But to really start using it is a whole nother thing, because now instead of, if somebody says, hey, Eric, can you play a 1-4-5 in the key of G major? I say, sure. You want something like this, which is the 1 of the scale, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 of the scale, and the 5 of the scale. But with chords, the appropriate chords that I just taught you or mentioned to you are applied to those. So I know it's a 1, a 4, and a 5, right? And using the cage system, I could do other things. I could be, or there's so many different things that we can do, especially when you start synergistically putting some of these things together. That's the number system. Okay, we talked about the cage system. Okay, let's talk about some fingerstyle techniques. Now this is more of just, again, those other ones kind of like worked well, they work well together, right? And fingerstyle is just more of a technique, but I do want to mention it because to me, it's one of those things that absolutely, once you understand the basics of it, it's such a game changer. So I'm going to show this to you very quickly, just the basics of it, right? So fingerstyle guitar, why fingerstyle guitar is so cool is because it allows us to pick individual strings, voices, if you will. So that's why I can play, you can hear all these different voices happening at once, right? Because this is very pleasant to the ear. I could go, which is the same chord progression, and we're used to people strumming and it sounds great, but which one sounds better here? This one sounds more interesting to me. I don't know if it's better, but it sounds more interesting. I want to listen to it longer. It's more soothing than, right? So fingerstyle allows us to be arguably more expressive on the guitar because we can pull out all these little different notes. Now the idea is that the thumb is going to take care of strings 6, 5, and 4. This is in the PDF. If you haven't downloaded this PDF already, please do. It is in the description of the video, and you'll see it in the chat as well. Mike put that up there. So the thumb's going to take care of strings 6, 5, and 4, and fingers 1, 2, and 3 are going to take care of strings 3, 2, and 1, respectively. So if you just take your hand, do this with me. Take your thumb and put it on the 6th string, and take your ring finger. We really don't use the pinky. I mean, look at the size of the pinky. It's like so short. Many millennia, millions of years ago, cavemen would not use their pinky when they would play fingerstyle guitar, and that's why that pinky is so blunted. That's why they don't use it. It's scientifically proven, by the way. So they did use these 3 fingers and their thumb, okay? So, but they didn't use the pinky so much. So yes, could you use it? Sure, bring it in if you want. You ain't gonna, you know, you're not gonna change the world and you're not gonna break anything if you do it. It's just, yes, sure, bring in that pinky if you want. But 9 times out of 10, you just don't need it. So more than that, you just use the thumb and these first fingers. If you wanna be technical, it's PIMA. I go over that in the PDF, what that's about. But we're not going to use that right now because that's going to confuse you if you're not used to this. So the thumb, if I was going to do an arpeggio, which is just taking a chord and playing the notes out of it, this might sound familiar to you. This is thumb, first, second, third, second, first. And this song's in 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sense? This is a new language. It's going to feel awkward for you every single time. Anybody who's coming to this new, it feels awkward. The boot camp that I was doing just a few minutes ago was a fingerstyle boot camp. And many of you that are in this right now, or some of you who were in there, are in this broadcast as well. So you understand what I'm talking about here. But essentially, you know, any new language, any new technique is going to take some time, okay? So, I want to introduce you to these concepts, and again, the PDF is going to help out because I have all sorts of exercises for you there. So, you know, to just understand the basic idea, this is called resting position, and so basically it's when your thumb comes to the 6th string and fingers 1, 2, and 3 sit on strings 3, 2, and 1 respectively. That's called resting position. You want to get used to just putting your hand on the guitar like that and being able to rest there, because that's kind of like the starting off position. If you can't do that, you're going to be kind of all over the place. You want to be able to get the concept of that feel. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to practice without even fretting. I'm just playing an E minor chord here. But Eric, I thought this is an E minor chord. Oh, there's that beginner out there saying that, right? An E minor chord just has to have the notes E, G, and B in it. And if they do, then that's an E minor chord. And that's why I don't have to fret that. Plus this is on strings 5 and 4, and I'm not playing those strings. I'm playing strings 6, 3, 2, and 1. The song's in 6, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sense? And so that's a great practice. If you just sit, you know, if you're watching TV tonight, just sit here and practice that over and over and over again. You'll get good at it. It's the only way to get good at it. Anybody who's good at fingerstyle has just done this over and over again, or any sort of style like this. I have other ones like the papa. This is a song that I wrote for my dad, who's no longer with us. And these are called arpeggios. It's when you play a chord, but you play the note. It's when you play the notes individually, okay? So many exercises for you in that fingerstyle bit, okay? So make sure you check that out. Because I want to get to your questions, and we're coming up on the top of the hour here. I got 2 more things to show you. Strumming, mastery, you know, I'm going to show you the basics of strumming, and then we're going to talk about some chord noodling, okay? Okay, so let's talk about strumming, because strumming is probably the #1 thing that folks struggle with, okay? So let's talk about it. So the idea of strumming is we're hitting all the strings at once, or some version of that. We're typically not picking strings, we're hitting all of them, right? And so a few things that we want to do is when we're practicing this, I find it best to just mute these strings. Lay your hand on it is like a damp sponge, okay, or just like a sponge, like super light, to where the chord's not sounding out. The reason being is we really want to hyper focus on our strumming hand and what's happening there. And if we don't fuss with a chord down here, then that allows all of our brain energy to go to our strumming hand, which is going to allow us to be much more precise, okay? So the idea of a strum is we have a downbeat and we have an upbeat, right? If a song's playing, bum, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da, right? It's a little melody I made up. Da-da-da, ba-da, 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 ba-da. I don't know, I'm thinking about doing something with it. Probably won't do anything, but you get the idea. It's kind of fun. Ba-da-da, right? It's this basic idea. Ba-da-da-da-da. These are downbeats. My foot is hitting the ground when my hand is hitting the guitar. That's a downbeat. And a down strum is usually going to be in tandem with that. That's what we want. That's the basic theory. And our hand comes up on the upbeat. So down, 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 down. Okay, you got the idea. 2, 3, 4. But my hand's coming up too. And so it's coming up on the upbeat and my foot's coming up on the upbeat. So it's the antithesis to it. It's the opposite. It's the other half. It's the yin and the yang. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and same beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But I'm just playing on the downbeats now, and the upbeats would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I'm just deciding to hit the strings now on the way up as well. If I don't hit the strings on the upbeat, those are called ghost strums, meaning my hand's still moving, but I'm not hitting the strings, not accenting it or playing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm hitting them. Okay, now I'm hitting them all. And then we have different variations of this, and I give you all of these examples. Folsom Prison Blues. 1, so, right? Got this sound. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And so my beat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. And that's the pattern. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. You'll see this on a lot of my videos, especially the ones I do on Instagram and what have you. And I'll say, hey, here's the rhythm. People say, why don't you say down, up, down, up? Well, we could do that, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And so someone who hasn't learned the proper understanding of the downbeats and upbeats might go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and, which now their hand's just the opposite of the way it should be. Think of the numbers as being down and the ands as being up. And if you understand that, and you listen to a song, you're like, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 you know that the numbers are all down, then you go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. You can teach yourself any strum by just listening and then understanding that basic protocol and then applying it to the instrument. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I have lots of exercises for you on that strumming. I would suggest don't use a metronome at first. Just get to muting right here. Get the basic understanding of the down beats with the down strums, the up beats with the up strums, or yeah, the up strum, the down strums with the down beat and the up strums with the up beat. If you understand that basic structure and then actually do that, you're going to be in good hands. And if you go through the exercises that I give you, there's 5 levels of exercises, then you're going to have a great time. Yeah, that's just to let you know that. And some of them are easier than others, all right? Mona, good to see you, my friend. I see you on Instagram a lot. What's an arpeggio? An arpeggio is when you just, when you play that chord, but one note at a time. Thank you, Jana. So kind of you. Make sense? Okay. Don't use a metronome at first. Get the basic understanding, and then once you start getting good at it, bring in the metronome. You can do that. That'll help with your timing for sure. Okay? All right, let's look at one other thing. Let's talk about chord noodling. Oh, two other things, chord noodling and minimalistic blues. And then let me give this guitar away. Then let me get to your questions. Okay, if you haven't already, PDF description of the video. Also in the, where else is it? It's also in the chat. That's what it's called, the chat. Sorry, I'm new to the internet. Okay? Okay. Tim is asking, is there a more common strum pattern? Yes. So glad you asked. This is the most common strum pattern. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. It is the very last strum that I give you on level 5. Is that right? I think it's the last one. Or maybe it's the first one. It's in level 5, nonetheless, okay? And it's used like in literally 80% of the songs. I'll always say it. Here it is, that strum pattern again, okay? Okay. If you're having a problem keeping steady downbeats with those ghost strums, Bob, slow it down. Understand it, what's happening first. You know which ones are upbeats, which ones are downbeats. And then just go slow, man. Slow things down to a crawl so you just get the feel of it. Then you can speed things up, okay? Let's talk about, what did I say I was going to talk with you next? Chord noodling. Let's talk about this. So chord noodling is this. Okay, when we're playing in a particular key, right? It's kind of like color theory. There's certain colors that work well together. There's certain notes that work well together. There's certain chords that work well together. And 99% of that theory is based off of the major scale. If you understand the major scale, which I give you for free in the UGS standard, you can find that 30-something lesson course on my website. If you do that, you'll understand the major scale, and you'll understand that everything is really based off of that. But I show you how to play that major scale and understand the structure of it. So when really that's where we get our chords from as well. I can't go into the reasons why that is, because that's a 20-minute explanation in and of itself. But our chords come from this as well. So major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major. That all comes from, you can hear it right in there. Anyhow, you get the idea, right? And so because of that, those are called chord families, and those notes and those chords work well together. We're really talking about 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so you can think about it almost like the solar system. There's the tonal center, the 1, you can call that the sun. I'm pretty sure that's in the center. Who would know anything anymore? But I'm pretty sure it's in the center. And then all the other notes kind of revolve around it, if you will. It's the center of the solar system, musically speaking. And so, because of that, we have a key. And when we're in a key, the key means, hey, these are the notes that we can play. These are the chords that we can play that match that. If you want to go outside of that, you can, but it's going to sound like it. So do what you want to do, but these are the chords and notes that work well together. And then what chord noodling says is, okay, we're in this key. We're playing this particular chord, but we can do other things with it to make it sound nice. Some might call them chord embellishments, and that's fine. You can do that. But for me, like chord embellishments, when I think of the difference between chord embellishments and chord noodling is, chord embellishments, you're identifying what that note is. And you're saying, this is a dominant 7th chord with a sharp 9. You know, you're actually naming the notes. What chord noodling is, you're just playing notes. You're bringing in notes. You're not thinking about it so much. You're just bringing them in for texture. So like if I was playing a G chord here, I could do, or I could go, what these are notes that are within the key. but not within the chord per se. Some of the notes are, but like if I, like this note is not. That note's not. And so, but they're within the key. Again, 7 notes. A chord is 3 notes. So that means there's 4 notes that are within the key that aren't in the chord, but if I play those notes, they add tension to it, right? Tension, someone's asking, can you do this with only open chords? No, you can do it with bar chords as well. I do it all the time. It's a little bit more difficult because you're not freeing your fingers up, which is why we use the capo, because it allows you to become more creative with your fingers instead of having to be stuck with having to bar stuff, and you don't get to free up those other fingers. That's why I love the capo. So using other notes out of the scale, out of the key that we're in, but not necessarily within the chord. Music is made up of tension and release. So are movies, so are everything. And you may not even notice it, but if you watch a movie, it's really boring if there's no bad guy to get. And when they get that bad guy in the end, it feels fantastic because he was an a-hole the rest of the time during the whole movie, right? You were like, God, this guy's terrible. That's why when the bad guy gets it in the end, you feel so good. If they didn't involve that tension, the release wouldn't be good. Life is made of this, tension and release. The tides, the sun, the moon, the yin, the yang, everything is cycles. Everything goes up, must come down. It's just universal, okay? And so music is the same way, and there has to be tension and there has to be release. If it's all tension, it doesn't sound good. If it's just boring, there's no tension. There can't be a release if there's no tension. So when we're in a key, we have all these different notes, and these notes can create tension in a chord. So how does this sound? How does this sound? A little bit of tension because that wants to resolve. Or this one. A little bit of tension, not a lot. Right? Makes sense? Okay. Now, that being said, I've given you some maps inside of that PDF. PDF's in the description of the video, sometimes in the comments section if you look, okay? What this means is if you're playing on a chord, then you can play any of the notes that are that are on that map. And again, there's only 7 notes. And you're playing a chord, you're playing 3 of them. So there's really only like 4 other notes that you could play that are within the scale. But if you get creative enough about this, you can do all sorts of things, right? You could do I could do this strumming wise too. So I could go. We can do all sorts of really super fun stuff with chord noodling. So now that's something you're really gonna, if that idea excites you, look at the PDF, go through those bits and pieces and start experimenting with it. Just understanding the concept and you're like, aha moment, I get it. Yeah, great, but you gotta work on it. You can't just, like what I just showed you isn't going to get you there. You got to do the work to get there, okay? And so I've given you those maps. All right, let me show you because we're at the 1 hour mark here, and I want to give this guitar away, and then I don't want to get to your questions, okay? Oh, by the way, too, I did not mention this, but we have a mad sale going on. Mad. I mean, crazy mad. So mad that it makes me kind of mad, and I will not be doing it next year. I say that in jest, but at the same time, I don't because we're literally giving the farm away. We're pricing UGS Pro at a price that's so ridiculously low, it hurts my heart because this has been my magnum opus, whatever. I've spent the last, 20 years doing this, and it's very affordable right now. So I'm cutting my nose off here, but times are tough right now, money's hard, and I do want to help people, and I am very passionate about helping people too. So if that resonates with you, we're like, yeah, I still want to learn how to play guitar, but that's awesome. It's like so ridiculously cheap. No, it's way cheaper than that, Matthew. Way cheaper than that. So, and the link for that, Mike just put the link right there. I think that's it. The sale offers are right there. So Mike's my right-hand man. He's the best. And there you go. So follow that link if you want to get a price that's absolutely ridiculous. Also, if you are a UGS Pro member and you're going and you want to go to Platinum, where that's a ridiculous price too. And again, so much so that I called Mike the other day and I said, Mike, this is great, and I really want to help folks out right now, but like, I'm not going to do this next year. So if you like the way that I teach, and if you want to get a lifetime of lessons at a ridiculous price, and it is ridiculous, I'm almost embarrassed about it, then visit that link, okay? Because I'm not going to do it next year. I said I may not in my emails. I'm not going to do it next year. It's gone. It's going to be gone next year, okay? So now's your time to do it if you're serious about it, okay? Okay, let's get into it. Last thing to show you is minimalistic blues. I love this, guys. And I call it minimalistic blues. You don't have to like the blues at all. You don't have to like them. And that's okay. What I'm going to show you here, that's my foot pedal here. Minimalistic blues is this. You know how like people will be like, okay, well, you got to learn all your scales. You got to learn all the different forms and all the different keys and da 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 da. Cool. I did that. I spent, I don't know how long I did. I mean, took forever. I learned all my modes and all my different keys and all the different scales and all the different, you know, pentatonic and blues and this, that, and the other, all the different keys. And at the end of the day, it's not nearly the thing that moved the needle the most for me. Now, if you've been in my minimalistic, if you understand my minimalistic blues way of doing things, please put in the description or in the comments here, minimalistic blues or MB, so people know that it massively changed your life, because this is one of those concepts that no one taught me, never read it in a book, never saw it in a video. I happened upon it myself and kind of created the technique myself. I'd say technique, it's a philosophy. You know, it's not like I'm inventing anything on the guitar, but it's a philosophy and it's an approach. It's a way to present something where you go, oh my God, that's amazing. And that's what it did for me. Once I understood this concept, it changed everything for me. Everything. So basically, you can do this. You know, I've said to you several times now, right, that when we're in a key, we have 7 notes. Well, when we're in the key of, when we're playing blues, we're really sticking to about 6 notes. There are other notes that we can play. I do it all the time. But if we're just playing like strict blues, right? That sort of style, then like that vibe, you're talking about 6 notes. And so what I found is this: if you learn those 6 notes that are found on 2 strings and 2 frets, a baby can do this. If you are older than a baby, you have an edge on those little babies, okay? Look, watch this. This note, this one, this one, this one. Fingers 1 and 3. This is fret 8 and 10, by the way. I'm going to play something in the key of A. Okay. In fact, let me do this. Let me show you. Let me show you just how amazing this is before I kind of describe to you what's going on. Now, I didn't just change the world, but that's pretty cool, man, to be able to do that with 2 fingers, 2 strings, 2 frets. That's ridiculous that you can get that much yumminess, right, out of a particular something. Now, if I wanted to make it fancier and take the same concept that I just showed you, well, I hadn't showed it to you yet, but I'd take the same concept, right? Take that same concept and I say, well, I could take those same 4 notes and play them right here and right here. Many different plays that we can do this. And so if I do that and I consider the same 4 notes, now if I bend up, I get 2 other notes out of there. So giving me my 6 notes out of the minor scale. But if I can learn this one little, the minor blues scale, but if I can learn this one thing, then I can move this all around the fretboard and it looks and sounds something like this. So now I'm playing all over the neck, but it's the same notes, bro. I mean, you might say, well, that's cheating because Stevie Ray Vaughan plays like 10,000 notes. No, he doesn't. He plays the same 6 notes. Not to say that he doesn't throw in some major notes, some major blues and stuff there. I do too, and so does many guitar players. But what I'm saying is the basic blues is that. That is the basic of blues. And what Stevie Ray Vaughan is doing is playing this. He's doing the same thing all over the neck. Okay. And so this idea of minimalistic blues, I won't go into it too much further here because I know folks want to win this guitar, and I'm going to go ahead and announce that here and stick to what I'm talking about. But just understand that basic thing there, that it's the same 4 notes. And so if you understand that, that's 7 different places that I play that on the neck. That takes care of the whole neck. Okay. 8 places right there. So if I understand that I only have to learn the 4 notes or the 4 frets and what they do, and then that allows me to play all over the fretboard. That's all I'm going to do about that one because, again, I'm going to answer your questions in real time here, but I also want to I want to honor you guys and honor your time for those that need to go. So this beautiful PRS guitar is called an NF53. It's part of the Silver Sky John Mayer series. If you can see there, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but it's part of the Silver Sky series. And this is a beautiful guitar. Sounds, plays great. I love PRS guitars. They're fantastic. They sent this beauty to me and said I could give it away to you. This is black with, it's called black dog hair, right? So you can see the little grains there right in the wood. So beautiful, right? And they have it in white as well. They have it in some other colors, but absolutely fantastic guitar, fantastic company. These guys are so hell-bent on creating the best guitar in the world. And if you ask anybody, I mean, I've seen them more and more, but I've seen PRS for years. Basically, it's like taking the best of Fender and the best of Gibson, and I'm a Fender and Gibson guy, I got them both. But they've taken the best of those guitars and put them in one guitar, and it's a fantastic instrument, and they do it for a very affordable price. So, yeah, and so let's give this one away, okay? Beautiful. All right, and then we'll get to your questions. So get those questions geared up. Don't put them on the screen yet because they're going to go away as I'm giving this thing away. Okay, here we go. Mike sent me the winner, the screenshot here. So I'm going to put this on the screen. Get ready. You guys ready? Do I have a drum roll? Here we go. I do. Here we go. You ready? And the winner is Bill Harrison. I was hoping that my face would still be on there, but it's not. Bill Harrison is our winner. Congratulations. That is, he entered the contest, and I'm going to send this off to you, Bill. So if you're watching, if Bill is in the chat, please go ahead and let us know if you are. If not, no big deal. You don't necessarily have to be, you don't have to be present to win. So, but Bill Harrison, we got your name, we got your number, we got your email. For those of you, I know whenever we do a giveaway like this, everybody knows that they're going to win. Everybody knows it. I see it and it hurts my heart because everybody's like, I know I'm going to win it. And I'm like, I can only give one away. So there's a chance that you're not going to win it. So if you didn't win it, I still obviously have some parting gifts for you. I've got the PDF, I've got the courses for you. I have so much and I want to help you out. So I want to get to some questions here. Bill, congratulations to you, my friend. Congratulations. I want to get to your questions though, friends, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 42 years now. I love helping people play guitar. So let me know how I can help you. What about the concepts that we just talked about? Does anybody have any questions on any of those or any other concepts or about this beautiful PRS guitar? I've been working with PRS now for just a few months and I absolutely love them. They're kind people and they make a stellar instrument. So this is what I do for a living, and I have tons of free videos for you, free PDFs, lots of free resources on my website. So if you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. I have an AI engine that we've built there specifically for guitar. So if you want to know about crypto, that's not the place to go. It's not going to answer your questions on crypto. You have that availability to you somewhere else. But if you want to know about music and you want to know about guitar, this AI engine is built off of my books, my videos, and the universal truths of music and guitar, okay? So, all right, let's get to those questions. I'm looking at it right now. And so Davey is saying here, when we talk about scale degrees and intervals, hold on, why isn't my thing working here? Okay, Davey's saying, when we talk about scale degrees and intervals, I got to get a mouse working here. If I don't, then I'm going to have to grab my other mouse. Let me grab my other mouse. That stinks. Hold on. He's saying when it comes to intervals, scale degrees and intervals, I'm going to put this on the screen so you guys can see it, okay? You guys see that all right? That's kind of huge, isn't it? Let me make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Let's do that, okay? Where'd it go? Okay, when we talk about scale degrees and intervals, why do we use the words major and perfect? Okay, Davey, that's a great question. So when we're talking about the notes in a scale, I'll do this really quickly, but when we're talking about the notes within a scale, we have a unison, which is the 1, a major 2, a major 3, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6, major 7. So basically the 4th and the 5th are what we call perfect intervals. And the reason that they're perfect intervals is because there is a fractional relationship having to do with math and the length of the string and frequencies and what have you that make those two intervals, they're just structurally more symmetrical, like half and a fourth or something like that, or half and a third. I think the 1/4. I think the 4th is a third, and I think the 5th is. I'm pretty sure it's half, because if you think about this, right? Here's the 1. Here's the 1, because it's the octave up. The 5th is right here, so it's like right in the middle of the string. That's my best understanding of that. That's why we call those intervals such. Okay, great question. Okay, Dean is saying, what do you suggest is the best way to learn the numbering system? I go through exercises and still not fluid or confident, just jam tracks, best jamming with friends. Yeah, definitely jam with other people. But the best way to learn the number system to me is this. Take a song and dictate it, write it down using the number system. And so you might say, well, that's difficult to do. I know, because you don't know the number system. So this is going to get you to know the number system. So for instance, what I'll do is someone says, okay, well, the chords are a G, C, D, and A minor. So G, C, D, and A minor. Okay, and I'm going to say, well, okay, well, I'm in the key of G. Well, then I know the G is the 1. Okay, well, what is the C chord? Well, how would I know? I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a music professor. You don't need to be, because you just play the scale. So there's a C. What note is the C in the G major scale? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 4th note. So the C chord would be a 4 chord. And what would be the D? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be the 5 chord. And what would be the A minor? Well, it'd be a 1, 2. That's an A. So it'd be the minor 2. Does that make sense? So what I would do is I would analyze songs. It's the best and the funnest way to do it. Okay? Good. What specific 6 notes were you playing for the blues demonstration? Peggy's asking. Peggy, it depends what you mean, what notes. I can tell you that it's strings 1 and 2, and it's frets 8 and 10, okay? So this is an A, that's our key. So that note's gonna sound good no matter what. Talk about tension and release, right? So if I go, listen to the tension. Like, we don't wanna hang on this. We could. But what wants to resolve. Here's some more tension. So these two strings, 1 and 2, and the frets are 8 and 10. And this guy we can bend up a half step, which is this note, or we could bend it up a whole step. So I could bend up a half step. That one cries, right? And that's tension. Or I could finger it. And you could take all that right there, Peggy, and move it right here. Or right here. Or makes sense? All right, good. That's a great question, Peggy. All right. What happened to the guitar that I was building? I did have one. I had a blues man out of Franklin, Tennessee, or Spring Hill, Tennessee, create a guitar for me. They created a great guitar. If I'm gonna, it just took too long. So, and there's a few other things that I didn't absolutely love about it, but it's a fantastic guitar. I still have it. Now the bass player of my band, who's been building guitars for years, is building a guitar for me. So more on that later. But I've been down this road 3 times now, I think, and I would rather have the guitar in my hands done and exactly what I want before I announce it. Does that make sense? When you play the minimalistic blues, how do you get so much emotion out of it? Robert, thank you so much. Very kind of you to say. Because think about this as a baby, right? A baby says things like ow, hungry, poopy, pee-pee, whatever, and gets the job done, because we know when that baby says poopy and he's learning how to, to be trained, right, to potty trained, we know what that means. Get that little hiney on that commode really quickly, because we don't want to clean up the mess. So still communicating in the same way, but it's awkward, right? You're not at the restroom or at the restaurant with your friends at a party and saying poopy. You don't say that, because that just sounds weird. You just get up and excuse yourself and you do your thing. But maybe that's a crude example. But like the idea of, you want to walk before you run. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to roll over on your tummy before you can crawl. That concept, and then just keeping on going with it, right? So what it might sound like at first is like, you might just be like, just playing the notes, and you're like, well, that all sounds good, but it's not moving me to tears. So then you say, well, you go, well, what works? And so you play around with some notes. Like this is the 1, so that's always gonna sound good. Giving it some vibrato, which takes time. You're not gonna get it at first, but vibrato is real helpful. Doing things like sliding into it, pulling off, bends. So this note always wants to be bent. Just a little bit. And what I did just now, I did some staccato. That's called staccato. So when you do all those things together, they start sounding like you're actually speaking. So, you kind of learn to speak. I'm not saying much. It's like I'm just using 6 notes, but the way you say it, right? There's a reason that B.B. King is so famous, and because he really puts inflection into a small amount of things that he says. On the opposite side of that would be Stevie Ray Vaughan, who said so much, right? He was so verbose in what he would say, but man, he still played it with such emotion. If he didn't play with emotion, it would just sound like, you're just like, guy, you need to slow down and just think about what you're saying. And if you think about that, just slow down and think about what you're saying, it gives the same effect as being very verbose, and maybe not the same effect, but it's beautiful. We love B.B. King, we love Stevie Ray Vaughan. They're both completely different players, but they both play with emotion, right? So adding little nuances, bends, slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, and what have you, but just stick to those 4 notes. Don't try to do anything more in the beginning, because that's where the quan is. If you can get that down, then everything branches out from there, okay? Ryan's saying, I watched your video on Burning for You. Actually, it was actually, what is it called? Don't Fear the Reaper, right? I don't have a tab for this, I'm sorry. It's just something I kind of came up with and I was messing with. So, because I love taking, that's chord noodling, by the way, right? I got an A minor, G, and F chord. So I just took the concepts that I show you guys in the PDF there, and in my courses, I've got a whole course on chord noodling. But the idea is to take the basic structure of the song, extrapolate some sort of bass line from it, add the melody line on top of it. But and obviously, it's a little trickier than just me singing that. It's not like I just picked up the guitar and did that. I had to work out the parts, if that makes sense, okay? Why did the frets get smaller as you move up the neck? Because it's a math thing, because it has to in order for it's a math thing. I would be the wrong guy to explain it. Even though I took algebra 5 times in college, you would think that I would be the great guy, the best guy for it, but I took algebra 5 times in college before I passed it. So, quick technique question. I see folks do a whole neck slide from the body to the headstock of the acoustic to get an amazing sound out of it. Do you have to be amped to get that effect? I've tried, but no luck. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you just mean like a, like that? Or, you know, or do you mean a pick scrape? You don't have to be amped to do that. You don't have to be. You should still hear it, you know? Okay, great. Can you use accidentals for chord noodling, or do you use the notes, only the notes that are in the scale? You absolutely can use accidentals, which, friends, accidentals are not accidents, but they are notes that fall outside of the scale. Typically, accidentals mean sharps and flats, but I know what Mr. L is talking about here. He's talking about notes that fall outside of the scale. Can you use those? Absolutely, especially if the melody for the chord progression calls for it, or your melody calls for it, right? But you absolutely can, yes. Okay, great question. Okay, I have an issue with the string below the string I have my finger on being muted out by the string above it, even though I press my fingertip straight onto the string. How can I resolve this? This is a great question, Tanya. Let me show you. And so I have a more verbose explanation of this in Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, a course that everybody here, so many of you have gone through. I've had more than 750,000 students go through that course. And it's a game changer, and it's free. It's available to you. It's like 36 lessons of my top lessons. So you can find that at YourGuitarSage.com. But I do go over this technique for you, but let me show it to you really quickly in a nutshell. So you can play on your fingertips. Here, I'm playing on my fingertips right now. I'm going to play the 6th string. Now I'm going to play the 5th string. And I'm still muting it. Here is the only secret that you need to know, Tanya. I'm on my fingertip, but I'm still muting that string. So what you want to do is you want to take this knuckle and point it towards the ceiling as much as you can. So what you're doing is you're kind of arching that hand like this. It helps if you drop thumb behind the neck. If it's up here, you're not going to have an opportunity to do that. But essentially, here's the 5th string. The only thing I'm doing is I'm just getting that knuckle out of the way. Does that make sense? That's it in a nutshell, but yes, absolutely. Go ahead and watch that. Oh no, we're frozen. How long ago did we freeze? Are we still frozen? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay, we're back, it sounds like. Okay. Somebody said, someone looks like you might need some hydration. I probably do. You demonstrated the cage system on C. How about showing us in the key of D major? Yeah, let's do it, okay? So the same concept here, right? Do you have D? So you could start at D, and then, again, cage goes C, A, G, E, and D. So if you're starting on the A chord, then you would say A form, G form, E form, D form, C form. So wherever you're at, you start at that letter and then you continue the word and then wrap it around. Does that make sense? So if we started on a D, this is caged, right? Then we're starting on the D, then the next version of it would be the C form. Now notice that each form, like this little triangle, is the triangle that you see in the C formation. It's the D form, here's the C form. And so here's the word cage. There's the C, here's the A, here's the G, here's the E, here's the D. Makes sense? So you would just you do that for any key, it doesn't matter. Okay, good. I don't know if I have the right hand knows how to hit the right string. So if I have a G or A chord, how do I know? Jana, I'm not sure I understand the question. I don't know. I don't get it how the right hand knows to hit the right strings. Oh, well that happens with practice, Jana. That's why I give you an easy exercise. Like if you're talking fingerstyle, that's why I give you this exercise here. And that's why I say don't look at the at your left hand, or don't look at your fretting hand. Look at your picking hand and slow it down. And then over time, you will get it. It's going to start making sense. It's going to start feeling right to you. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Where the notes are on the neck, but you told me that I have to learn the chords at first. I just don't know the coordination with my right hand, Eric, and please raise the price. It's only about $50. Okay. I don't know the coordination with my right hand. Okay, you don't have to know. There's no specific order that you need to learn how to play the guitar. Although, Jane, if you're not in the free course that I give you, the 36 lessons or so, do that, because I show all of this to you step by step. You can't mess up. I have all the PDFs for you. It's all for you for free. So go take advantage of that, okay? And that'll show you, because I do talk about certain things in a certain order. It does make it easier, in my opinion, okay? Needs more cowbell, Matthew. Indeed. He's talking about Don't Fear the Reaper right there, man. Hybrid picking. Hybrid picking is just this idea of adding the pick when we're doing some finger picking, right? So see how I'm picking with this finger here. So I'm kind of bringing the pick in, but I'm also doing some other things here. And I'm not like a whiz kid at that at all. It's also called chicken picking, but it's helpful for certain things, especially country music. It's really good for that, you know. Where do I find UGS Standard? You can find that at, Mike, do you have the link for that? Oh, right there, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Yes, it's a free course, yes. John, this webinar will not be repeated on the YGS website, but it will stay on my YouTube channel, if that makes sense. Okay? Oh, thank you for adding that, Nikki. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. What is the average BPM to use when learning to use the metronome? Get that out of your head, Kurt. There is no average, okay? It's what's comfortable for you, and I really mean that, okay? It's what's comfortable for you, because if I said the average was 60, which it's not, but if 60 was too fast for you, like what good is that, if that were the average? But it's not. Do what's comfortable for you, okay? And honestly, I don't think there is an average. It's just like what, I guess if you took, 1,000 of 1,000 songs in a certain genre, you might be able to say, okay, well, this is the basic idea, but that would have to be a specific genre, if that makes sense. So I picked the same way the chords are placed on the neck. Oh, if you're talking about the cage system, Jane, if you're talking about that, you can strum them. You can finger pick them. You can do whatever you would like. Think about the cage system as more of a knowledge of how to access the same chord in multiple different ways, if that makes sense, okay? Okay, good. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Absolutely. I believe that's a military expression, but It's absolutely true. And Lisa, who's in my fingerstyle course, and she was also in, I think she was in my lead guitar course as well, but she has made huge strides. I've watched her grow over the last few years here and just been so passionate about music, and it's so cool. She's in my Unstoppable Guitar System Pro course, and she's a whiz. She's so good and so more than anything, she's disciplined. I like the kind of like knuckle down, let's make this thing happen. She definitely has that attitude and has grown so much. So she would probably say the same thing. It's just like what got her there, just the hard work, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's nice to have resources here. Jimi Hendrix did not have the Unstoppable Guitar System, and he did pretty good by himself, right? Even without me. So the point is, you can, if you're passionate about something, you can do anything you want, but obviously resources are really helpful to get you there. A map is very helpful as opposed to just kind of looking for something. So it's true, Lisa, I say it because it's true. So yes. All right. Other questions, technique, theory, anything that we covered here. I'll tell you what, I'll go another 10 minutes or so, if that works for you guys. We don't even have to go another 10 minutes. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you guys have the resources, and obviously I can share stuff with you here, but so many more resources over at YourGuitarSage.com, our blog. We've done so much there. The SageBot, right, which is my AI agent that Mike helped me create. There's so much there, so much knowledge that you can gain for free. I've got 3,000 something videos for you on YouTube for free. I've got UGS Standard, which is 36 step-by-step lessons that will absolutely take you to huge places. And by all means, if you've been watching me for a while and you're really ready to elevate it, man, take advantage right now of the ridiculous, and I say it's ridiculous, the ridiculous price that we're doing on UGS Pro right now. And if you're in UGS Pro already, bump up to Platinum, friends, because we, again, are putting a ridiculous price on that. Both of those are going to go away in 2026. I can't continue to do that and keep the lights on. But what I would like to do is, I know things are tough right now as our economy is in flux and money is in flux and everything else right now. So in the interim, what I wanted to do is present this to you guys so that you could still be playing and have a lifetime of lessons. All together with UGS Pro and the stuff that I give you, you're talking, 4,000 lessons, something like that, if you're including the YouTube stuff. So I'm trying to make it as accessible as I possibly can for you and still keep the lights on, okay? And it's all available to you. So follow that link. If you haven't downloaded the PDF already, links in the description of the video. Also, check out the comment section, okay? Because you might find it there. Erich, is a subscription for free? It depends on what it is. Obviously, I don't give everything away for free, because if so, I'd have another job, and I definitely wouldn't be sitting in this seat on a Saturday. So I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing the boot camps and everything else. So yes, a subscription to UGS Standard is free. You can get on our email list. We give lots of stuff away there, the blogs, everything else. So yes, that's all free. But if you wanted to be in the UGS Pro membership, that is a paid product. But like I said, right now it's hardly paid. It's ridiculous what we're doing, and we're not going to do it next year, so it's going away. So if you're serious about it, get on it, because I'm telling you, I'm not thinking about it going away. It's going away. Okay. Okay. Did the Platinum from Pro, and it's awesome. Yay, love that, Gene. Thank you so much for letting folks know. Yeah, it's the real deal. The Platinum is every single thing I've ever taught, all the courses from all my artists that I've worked with over the years, RJ Ronquillo, Corey Congilio. They both just happen to have names that sound similar. And there's many other courses, many other courses, Joe Robinson, etc. Just keep going down the list. So much available to you with the Pro membership, and you can get it at a ridiculous price right now. So, man, at least go over there and get hooked up. At least take a look at it, because if not, and I can promise you it's going away in 2026. We can't do that. Can't continue it at that price. So do it. Rick went platinum, highly recommend. Beautiful, thank you, buddy. And thank you, Mike, for sharing that as well. That's in the chat there, okay? So jump in there. Right. Exactly. On YouTube, you're not getting charged for subscribing. I provide that for free for folks. Okay. Any last questions? Brian, I don't know off the top of my head upgrading from Pro to Platinum, but I know that the price that we have it right now is more affordable than we've ever made it, and we definitively are not ever going to have it that low going forward. I'm not going to do that in 2026. I just can't. I like physically can't, because I can't pay for stuff. I mean, I can't go into all the reasons why, obviously, but, you know, paying my folks is one of the reasons. We got to pay the kids. Right, recently took out the Pro membership. Good deal at the moment. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, that's right. Lifetime is just a one payment, okay? Okay. Absolutely. One way to think about the cost is how many private lessons you could get for that one price. And I can tell you, and I don't know if any of my pro members, any of my one-on-one members are in here, but I do give one-on-one lessons, and I can tell you they're $300 a pop. $300 for an hour. So, like, literally, you could get a lifetime membership for less than that. Or meet with me an hour. We can do that. But I can do a lot more with my courses. I can get you stuff a lot for more affordably, and definitely right now. But again, that's not sticking around. So, okay. All right, good, my friends. I would love to hang out with you all day long, but my family just came back in, and I did a broadcast this morning, and I was preparing and everything else, so it's going to be almost a full day for me. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Anything that you desire, I say it all the time, anything you desire to do on this instrument, you absolutely can do. There is no obstacle or challenge that you're running into that Eddie Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, and everybody else didn't run into also. Don't believe the lie that you are different and that you have some sort of, I don't care if you're dyslexic, I don't care if you have ADHD, what, everybody's got something. I mean, everybody has something. My brother, who's 59, just found out that he's been dyslexic his whole life, okay? Whatever. It's like, you know, if you want to hang on those excuses, you can. Otherwise, then you're not going to get what you want. Otherwise, you say, I'm going to forge on, and like, we all have frailties, we all have weaknesses, we all have disabilities. Move beyond that. Don't wear that as a badge of honor, because it's not a badge of honor. No one really, honestly, at the end of the day, no one cares. I mean that in the kindest way. No one cares. Let's get over it. Let's get on to our dreams. Let's get to what it is that we believe in and what we want for ourselves. And the only way to do that is to get out of that mentality and to be like, this is what I want. This is the steps to do it, and I'm going to get there. Okay. So anything you desire to do on this instrument, you absolutely can do. I'm proof of that in both how much I've achieved and what I haven't achieved, because I haven't applied myself yet further to get those things. We're all on a continuum. Where are you at on the continuum? It doesn't matter. What does matter is, are you happy where you're at in the continuum? That matters, because if you're not where you want to be, you definitively can go further. I'm happy where I'm at in my continuum, given my age, given what the other things that I need to do in life. And I mean, would I like to be better? Yeah, of course I would, but I got to put in the practice, right? And do I have the dedication and the sacrifice to do that? I have what I have right now because of what I put into it. And the same is true with you. Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get back, okay? All right, love you guys so much. You guys are the best. Go visit the page right now, please. If you haven't gotten the PDF, you know what to do. Description of the video, also in the comments. And make sure you go to that sale page, because, friends, it's going away. And I'm telling you, and we're not doing it in 2026. It's just not happening. I mean, we'll do discounts, but it's not going to be what it is right now. Okay, beautiful. And I'll leave you the last thing here with Lisa's practice is key. It's the only thing. People ask me all the time, what does it take? It's only practice. It's the only thing. There is no other thing. It's practice. And I'll get you wherever you want to get to. Okay? I love you guys, and I'm out of here. We'll see you.